On Global Television News Express, Tinubu swears in 2 new INEC commissioners. Yakubu denies sack. In business, federal government, World Bank at odds over funding strategy. And on the foreign scene, Trump meets Saudi Crown Prince for significant investment. And in sports, Aruna leads Nigerian contingent to World Championship. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in 2 newly appointed commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as its chairman. Yakubu Mahmood dismissed widespread speculations that he had been removed from the office. Speaking with State House correspondents shortly after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Yakubu confirmed and affirmed his position and clarified that no such actions had been taken by the president. Kikelomo Okere completes the story.
The Independent National Electoral Commission Chairman Mahmood Yakubu revealed that the Commission had forwarded 142 recommendations to the National Assembly as part of ongoing efforts to reform Nigerian electoral process. Following its internal review of 2023 general elections, Yakubu expressed satisfaction with lawmakers' response and pace of action.
Weeks ago, we had a retreat in Lagos with the Joint Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives on Electoral Reform. Thereafter, the National Assembly is going to organize a public hearing, and it's after the public hearing that now a new bill will at the end of the day be submitted to the President for assent. So we're working with the National Assembly on electoral reform.
The submission of recommendation and continued legislative engagement, Yakubu says, were part of the Commission's commitment to ensuring more credible and transparent election in the future. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, has announced the screening process for the 2025 admission cycle for the 77 regular course on May 24. The Academy's Public Relations Officer, Major Mohammed Maidawa, announced in a statement in Kaduna. Maidawa said the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, wishes to inform the public and specifically all applicants of the 77 regular course that the screening process for the 2025 admission cycle is underway. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has arrived at the Federal High Court in Abuja ahead of the hearing of the claim by the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, that the lawmaker recently flouted the court order. Justice Binta Yako had on Monday fixed today for the hearing of the contempt claim by Senate President against Akpoti-Uduaghan. Justice Yako also said she would hear the earlier contempt charge filed by Natasha against Akpabio, the Senate and others over allegations of disobedience to an earlier court order. Governor Dauda Lawal has flagged off the distribution of debit card for the beneficiaries of the World Bank-financed cash transfer scheme. The flag-off ceremony held at the Safe Local Government Secretariat marks the beginning of a major intervention aimed at lifting the poor and vulnerable across Zamfara State out of extreme poverty. Samuel Odi completes the story.
The government's Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme is a social protection program supported by the World Bank, targeting poor and vulnerable households with financial assistance to improve their standards of living. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal reaffirmed his administration's commitment to support the most vulnerable members of the society. He described the launch as the milestone in his mission to rebuild a more inclusive and prosperous Zamfara.
The purpose of this empowerment is to enable you to invest in your future so that you can support yourselves and your families and contribute to the growth of our local as well as national economy.
The State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Relief Matters, Salisu Tafiu, and State Coordinator, National Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme, Aminu Gusau, gave a detailed background of the beneficiary registration and verification process, emphasizing transparency and efficiency.
This important distribution and activation will be jointly executed by State Cash Transfer team and payment service providers that are already on ground. As we commence this battle exercise, Your Excellency, I urge all stakeholders, community facilitators, local government officials, security agencies, and GROs, that is grievances address officers, to work in unity and commitment toward the successful completion of this process.
Highlights of the event was the symbolic presentation and activation of debit cards, followed by direct cash disbursement to selected beneficiaries. Samuel Odi reporting for Global Television News. Government's conditional.
The National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives have enjoined nurses in the country to tackle the issues of negligence and attitudes in patient care. President of the association, Comrade Haruna Maman, gave the advice in Abuja during the commemoration of the 2025 International Day of the Midwife and the flag-off of the 2026 International Nurse Week celebration. The theme of this year's commemoration is Our Nurses, Our Future. Caring for nurses strengthens economies. Maman said the association is dedicated to driving initiatives that promote professionalism, continuing education, and ethical standards within its ranks. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has inaugurated new members for its Board of Trustees. The inauguration took place at the party's National Executive Committee Hall in Abuja. The PDP says the move aims to rejuvenate its top advisory body, which has seen diminished activities, with 85 of its 127 members reportedly inactive. Our political correspondent, Godwin Sunday, completes the story.
The reconstitution of the Board of Trustees followed the expiration of tenures and defections of some. The inauguration coincides with the heightened internal discussion within the PDP to address internal challenges and strategies ahead of the upcoming NEC meeting and National Elective Convention. Welcoming new BOT members, the chairman Adolphus Nwabara emphasized that the appointment is a call to serve and charged the new members to serve with dedication in building the new PDP.
It is a call to serve with integrity, transparency, and an unwavering dedication to the collective good of our party and our nation.
The acting national chairman, Ambassador Ilyasu Damagu, represented by Satunji Koshedo, the acting national secretary, seized the opportunity to welcome new members of the Board of Trustees.
We will also expect a commensurate response from the BOT in supporting us to refocus and redirect the affairs of the party to what it's supposed to be.
The highlight of the event is the presentation of new board members by the BOT Secretary, Ahmed McAfee. Speaking to journalists, some members of the newly inaugurated BOT spoke on what to expect from the new BOT.
And that is a new beginning for our party, a regeneration of the glorious past. The takeaway is that is a call for a bigger service. For those who has been thinking that PDP has gone.
If you're a good biblical scholar, you know that even Christ had defection in his time. The Bible recorded that at some point some disciples left him. So that is expected.
Are taking place in all parties. There are people leaving PDP to other places, and there are people leaving other places to PDP. So I believe the most important thing is that members of the party who can't come to this forum, who are in the villages, they're in the party. They have not gone to anywhere.
The PDP hopes that the newly inaugurated BOT members will bring renewed vigor to the party's leadership and help to navigate the challenges ahead. Godwin Sunday, Global TV News.
The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Kebbi State has suspended former member of the House of Representatives for Koko Mayawa Federal Constituency, Mohammed Shehu Koko, and 9 party officials in Koko local government area. According to the suspension letter jointly signed by the APC local government party chairman, Mohammed Maibagar, the local government executive chairman, Sarajo Usman Koko, and 14 other stakeholders of the party in the area stated the action was taken due to alleged anti-party activities, disloyalty, and harassment of the party's executive members. Key cultural figures and government officials have commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for its growing emphasis on culture as a tool for national identity, unity, and international relations. The commendations came during a press conference organized by the National Institute for Cultural Orientation at the Brazilian Consulate in Lagos, part of preparations for the forthcoming World Orisha Congress and Nigeria-Brazil Cultural Exchange. His Imperial Majesty Oni Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II, Ooni of Ife, and global patron of Wokun, praised the president for the fostering of a climate that supports cultural and traditional institutions. Managing Director of Rural Electrification Agency, REA, Mr. Abba Aliyu, has disclosed that about 80 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. Speaking during the Huawei Day 2025 Nigeria, Aliyu noted that REA is expected to provide stable power to 17.5 million residents, 237,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises, and 30,030 own state hospitals. Head of Huawei Digital Power Nigeria, Mr. Cruz Ni, stated that the company will continue collaborating with partners to advance Nigeria's energy transition, bringing stable, green, and sustainable power to more rural communities. You are watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, UN faces their financial strain, Guterres calls for urgent reforms coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. Now we go to the business news. The World Bank has described Nigeria's 2025 federal budget as overly ambitious, warning that the federal government may be forced to turn to the Central Bank of Nigeria's Ways and Means facility to finance likely revenue shortfalls. The bank gave this warning during the public presentation of its latest Nigeria Development Update report titled Building Momentum for Inclusive Growth in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu signed the 2025 Appropriation Act into law, approving a record budget of 54.99 trillion naira, the highest in Nigeria's history. The World Bank has queried the remittance of the proceeds of the petrol subsidy removal by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of petrol subsidy. The policy was projected to save the federal government billions of dollars annually. The petrol subsidy removal, as justified by the government, was expected to free up funds for critical infrastructure and social programs. But the World Bank noted that while the subsidy was fully removed in October 2024, the NNPCL did not begin transfer of gains to the Federation account until January 2025. Moving on, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has unveiled a new insurance policy to transform Nigeria's aviation sector with the revised regulations specifically designed to ease aircraft financing and support the growth of local airlines operators. The minister announced this in a signed statement by the spokesperson to the ministry, Odutayo Oluseyi. The commissioner for the insurance and NICOM CEO Olusegun Omosehin said the commission has fully embraced the initiative. And now on the foreign scene, Donald Trump meets Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as he begins his first major diplomatic trip of his second term. The U.S. president is hoping to secure significant new investment in the U.S. in the 4-day trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. The UN is undergoing some dire financial strain amidst growing global challenges, Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said. Guterres, while briefing member states in New York about the state of the multilateral body, pushed for wide-ranging structural reforms to cut costs and enhance the world's body effectiveness. According to the information provided by the UN Comptroller to the General Assembly Fifth Committee, Administrative and Budgetary, only $1.8 billion have been received against the $3.5 billion regular budget assessment for 2025. Moving on to sports, Nigeria's top-ranked tennis star Quadri Aruna will lead the country's charge at the 2025 ITTF World Championship Final in Doha, Qatar, as the continent continues to quest for a historic first medal at the prestigious event. The tournament is scheduled to take place from May 16 to 25, with Nigerian athletes set to compete across single and double events in both men and women's categories. And still on sports, the Super Falcons, of Nigeria will face the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in a high-profile international friendly scheduled to hold across 2 venues in Ogun State, following a strategic partnership between the Nigerian Football Federation and the state government. According to the NFF president, Ibrahim Gusau, the matches are part of border effect efforts to decentralize top-level football event and strengthen the country's football economy through greater collaboration with state government. The first match will be played at the Remo Star Stadium in Kenne on Saturday, May 31st, while the return leg will take place at the recently upgraded MKO Abiola Sports Complex in Abeokuta on Tuesday, June 3rd. Real Madrid have reached a full agreement with Xabi Alonso to become the club's next head coach, according to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. The Spanish tactician, currently managing Bayer Leverkusen, has sealed a 3-year contract with Los Blancos that will run till 2028. His appointment signals the end of Carlo Ancelotti's tenure and beginning of a new era under the former midfielder. And as Global TV New Express comes to an end, let's put a look at the top stories. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in 2 newly appointed commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as its chairman. Mahmood Yakubu dismisses widespread speculations that he had been removed from office. As we told you, the World Bank has described Nigeria's 2025 federal budget as overly ambitious, warning that the federal government will be forced to turn to the Central Bank of Nigeria's ways and mean facilities to finance likely revenue shortfall. And on the foreign scene, we told you Donald Trump meets Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as he begins his first major diplomatic trip of his 2nd term. And then in sports, we said Nigeria's top-ranked table tennis Quadri Aruna will lead the country's charge at the 2025 ITTF World Championship Finals in Doha, Qatar, as the continent continues its quest for a historic first medal at the prestigious event. And that is it on Global Television News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTVNG. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you for watching.